The Park of Desire. The soft lavender haze of dawn stretched over the sleepy edges of the city, curling around the rows of elm trees that lined Maplewood Park. Every morning, like clockwork, Mira laced her worn sneakers and stepped into the tranquil embrace of the park just as the sun peaked above the horizon. Her breath formed delicate clouds that drifted into the crisp air as her feet rhythmically pounded the gravel path, her thoughts dissolving into the cadence of her jog. Since she began this new routine, Mira had noticed something, or rather, someone, that intrigued her more than the earliest blooms of spring or the chorus of birds announcing the day. At precisely the same spot, a few yards beyond the ancient iron bridge, sat a weathered wooden bench beneath a towering oak tree. There, a man appeared every morning, enveloped in the kind of stillness that seemed almost otherworldly in contrast to her own moving energy. What struck Mira was his consistency, a mystery wrapped in quiet moments. Each day, he sat engrossed in the same book, a worn copy of The Great Gatsby, fingers tracing the pages with gentle reverence. His dark hair curled loosely at his temples, and his eyes, when occasionally meeting the sky, glimmered with a restless hope. The quiet magnetism of this stranger pulled at her with an urge she couldn't explain. One morning, her jog slowed as she approached the bench. The man's gaze lifted from his book, meeting hers a heartbeat longer than polite distance would allow. She offered a hesitant smile, breathing through the nervous flutter in her chest. "Good morning," she said, voice steady but warm. He blinked, then smiled softly, the kind of smile that hinted at stories untold. "Good morning," he replied. "You're quite punctual." Mira chuckled, feeling an unexpected surge of boldness. "And you're quite the consistent reader." He nodded, closing the book gently. "I suppose comfort is found in familiar stories." "That it is," she murmured, pausing. "I'm Mira, by the way." "Lucas," he said, offering his hand. Their fingers brushed briefly, electric yet gentle, and for a moment, the bustling world beyond the park seemed irrelevant. "You come here every day?" Mira asked, curiosity blossoming. "Every day at dawn," Lucas said, glancing at the horizon where pale amber light now painted the sky. "There's something about the quiet before the city wakes. And this story," he tapped the cover lightly, "reminds me to keep reaching, keep dreaming." Mira nodded, understanding the sentiment in a way that surprised even herself. Everything inside her ached to linger here, to stretch out the moment, to see where this fragile connection could lead. "Would you like some company on your next jog?" Lucas asked, a glint of hope sparking in his eyes. She smiled, her pulse quickening. "I'd like that." From that day, their morning encounters became a ritual. Mira would run her steps. Lucas would read a few pages aloud, his voice rich with unspoken yearning and warmth. They discovered an effortless rhythm between them, forged from shared silences and tender laughter as the sun rose higher each day. For Mira, there had always been something lonely about running alone, a space in her chest carved out by long hours and city noise. But beside Lucas, in the dappled light filtering through leaves, that space began to fill with something new: connection, promise, desire. One morning, as the gentle spring breeze rustled the pages of the book in Lucas's hands, Mira stopped short, breathless. "Lucas, why that book? Why The Great Gatsby?" He closed it slowly and set it beside him on the bench. "It's about longing, about trying to reach something just out of grasp. But mostly, it's about hope. Hope that love can bridge the distance between two souls." Mira's heart thudded, a complex symphony of emotions swelling within her. "Do you believe in second chances? In chance encounters that change everything?" He looked up at her, eyes clear and steady. "I'm starting to believe." That day, the boundary between friendship and something deeper shifted subtly, like the turning tide. Their conversations bloomed, soft and vibrant, revealing the depths of their dreams, fears, and hidden desires. Weeks passed, and the park transformed with the season. Trees blossomed, birds sang louder, and the mornings grew warmer. So did the bond between Mira and Lucas, flourishing in the quiet corners of the early hours. One morning, a gentle rain kissed the city awake. Mira waited beneath a blooming cherry tree, the petals clinging to her damp hair. Lucas arrived, clutching the familiar book, and they shared a laugh as he offered her his jacket. "I've never been one for running in the rain," she confessed, stepping close. "It's never as bad with company," he replied, eyes darkening with tenderness. Under the shelter of the trees, the world fell away until there was only the soft rhythm of raindrops and their closeness, the space between them shrinking to nothing. A heartbeat later, Lucas reached out and tucked a damp strand of hair behind Myra's ear, his fingers lingering on her cheek. Their lips met, tentative, inviting, an echo of all the mornings that had led them here. The kiss was gentle but filled with the weight of unspoken promises and newly kindled hope. When they broke apart, breathless and smiling, Mira whispered, "This is the beginning of something, isn't it?" Lucas nodded, pulling her into an embrace that promised warmth beyond the morning chill. "Yes, something real, something worth holding on to." From then on, the park became their sanctuary, a place where desire blossomed like the flowers around them, where two hearts, once strangers, found their shared rhythm. And on the bench beneath the oak tree, between dog-eared pages and quiet mornings, love took root, unfolding like the most beautiful story. Over time, the book remained, but its pages were no longer just words. They were the backdrop to their unfolding romance, a symbol of hope and the magic found in ordinary moments made extraordinary by connection. And as the sun rose each morning, painting the world in hues of possibility, Mira and Lucas ran toward a future fueled not just by dreams in a book, but by the living, breathing desire that had drawn them together in the park of desire.